What I'm about to share challenges the existing system. Sleep apnea isn't a sleep disorder, but a slow, repeated neurological suffocation nightly. Most treat it as an inconvenience, not a life-threatening brain shutdown. You're told it's snoring, weight, or a collapsed airway, the surface story. The truth is darker. Each breath stop triggers brain panic, not rest or healing, but emergency mode hundreds of times a night. Your nervous system learns the world is unsafe, even unconsciously. Ancient healers called this the night thief, stealing vitality, memory, and years without warning. Modern apnea, same threat. Disturbingly, you don't remember it, but your body, hormones, heart, and brainstem do. You wake tired, anxious, foggy, told it's normal. It isn't. Breathing, correctly understood, was always the hidden antidote. Sleep apnea doesn't just interrupt sleep. It slowly dismantles systems vital for survival and mental integrity. Nightly, oxygen drops, CO2 spikes, and your heart jolts awake in repeated survival trauma, not rest. You may feel fine, but dangerous internal changes occur. Blood pressure rises, insulin resistance increases, and hormones, testosterone, estrogen, growth hormone, collapse as the body prioritizes survival over repair. Fatigue, anxiety, and brain fog become your baseline. The brain suffers most. With each apnea event, micro-assaulting memory, emotional regulation, and decision-making pathways. Prefrontal cortex weakens. Impulse control erodes. Depression or rage emerge. It's not stress, age, or genetics. It's oxygen debt, nervous system betrayal, your breath turning against you. Untreated, apnea dramatically elevates risks of stroke, heart attack, neurodegeneration, and sudden nocturnal death. This is the consequence of a brain repeatedly starved and conditioned. The danger lies in years of damage before visible collapse. When it seems mysterious, it isn't. It's mechanical, reversible, but only if treated as a breathing and nervous system emergency, not just a sleep issue. The mechanism reveals system fragility. Sleep apnea is a brainstem respiratory control failure, not just a blocked airway. Your nervous system loses rhythm first. In sleep, automatic breathing, governed by ancient brain circuitry, relies on CO2 tolerance. A rapid CO2 rise is interpreted as imminent death. A hypersensitive nervous system, from shallow mouth breathing, stress, triggers an early, violent alarm, creating a breath-hold panic loop. Breathing shuts down, CO2 spikes, O2 drops. The vagus nerve goes offline, sympathetic system activates. Heart rate, blood pressure surge, cortisol floods, leading to unconscious gasping, repeated fight or flight. Like power cuts degrading wiring, apnea destabilizes your brain. The nervous system defaults to danger, causing shorter daytime breaths, chest tightness, lower tolerance, and anxiety. This loop resists deep rest, equating it with death. No pill machine fixes apnea. It's the brain's lost trust in breathing. Until rebuilt, nights are an unremembered battlefield. Modern treatment often fails due to an incomplete model. Machines, masks, and pressure devices force air, managing symptoms but not teaching the brain to breathe or addressing the command center. CPAP holds the airway, but doesn't retrain CO2 tolerance, calm the brainstem, or restore vagus nerve tone. The nervous system stays in threat mode, merely overpowered. This creates dependency. Apnea returns, often worse, without the mask, because the brain never learned safety. The body interprets forced airflow as external rescue, weakening respiratory muscles, degrading nasal function, promoting mouth breathing, and reducing nitric oxide, silencing signals that relax airways. Pills sedate awareness, deepening apnea by suppressing emergency arousal, muting a fire alarm while the building burns. Ancient systems understood. Educate the breath. Condition the nervous system to tolerate change without panic. They trained breath during the day, enabling night to self-regulate, never relying on external crutches. Modern medicine, by separating sleep, breathing, emotion, and neurology, lost the root cause. This explains lingering unrest, anxiety, and dependence. The brain was overridden, not retrained, and overridden systems eventually fail. Ancient systems warned of nighttime breath collapse long before modern labels, describing it as loss of spirit, stolen breath, or a brainstem crisis, a silent draining of life force. These were early descriptions of nervous system collapse. They understood sleep isn't passive, but the nervous system's most vulnerable state. During sleep, consciousness yields control to ancient reflexes. If unstable, the body cannot protect itself. Instead of forcing air, these traditions focused on restoring rhythmic trust between brain and breath. They trained nasal dominance, conditioned stillness tolerance, and slowed waking respiration to prevent panic when metabolism naturally dropped at night. They viewed breath as a messenger between conscious and unconscious, life and death, functionally precise, as breath is the sole system touching both voluntary and involuntary control. Disharmony destabilizes everything downstream. Crucially, they trained breath during the day, recognizing nighttime collapse as a consequence, not the cause. The real work happened before darkness. Modern medicine rediscovered the outcome, but ignored the preparation. Hence our reliance on machines that sustain life at night, but don't truly restore. The ancients were precise. Understanding you teach a drowning system not to drown, rather than pushing water into it. Modern science confirms breathing chemistry, not just airflow, controls sleep stability. The brain's breathing center is more sensitive to CO2, trigger, than oxygen, fuel. Gentle CO2 rise relaxes. A sudden spike causes brain panic, shutting down breathing. Nasal breathing is non-negotiable. The nose produces nitric oxide, dilating airways, relaxing muscles, improving O2 uptake, and calming neural firing. Mouth breathing destroys this, drying tissues, increasing collapse, and training brain overreaction. Poor CO2 tolerance leads to overbreathing, washing out CO2. The brain, addicted to airflow, panics when sleep reduces breathing volume. Apnea stems from intolerance to stillness, not lack of air. Ancients intuited. The vagus nerve responds to slow, controlled breathing with elevated CO2. Activated, it signals safety, improving heart rate variability and dropping cortisol, allowing deeper sleep. Neuroscience confirms rhythm, not force, regulates survival. Retraining nasal breathing and CO2 tolerance reduces apnea because the brain stops panicking. This physiology shows many apnea cases are learned, nervous system reactions, unlearnable if breath is treated as the master switch. Responsibility shifts to your nervous system, not a machine or prescription. Hence its infrequent clear teaching. Apnea can't be fixed in the moment. The brain already deems the world unsafe. True change happens earlier, when the nervous system is receptive. The common mistake is trying to breathe more. Apnea stems from excessive sensitivity, not insufficient capacity. The protocol teaches the brain to tolerate less air without panic, to remain calm as CO2 rises, and stay rhythmic when the urge to gasp appears. This is neurological retraining. Ancients deemed this dangerous knowledge. The nervous system resists with discomfort, anxiety, deconditioning, not harm. Guidance is vital. Timing is crucial. Work before sleep. So the brain enters night convinced of safety, conditioned to slow rhythms and chemical stillness. Rehearse calm under controlled stress. mild breath restraint while awake. Over time, the alarm threshold moves. Brainstem recalibrates. Suffocation becomes neutrality. This missing link. CPAP forces air unconsciously. This protocol trains tolerance consciously. One overrides, the other rewires. Rewired, nighttime breathing stabilizes autonomously. Apnea events reduce because panic no longer shuts breathing down. The next part provides the exact protocol. Treating apnea as passive is a mistake. This precise protocol, not aggressive, is done once daily, 60-90 minutes before sleep, upright, never in bed. Sit upright, spine neutral, feet grounded, mouth closed, tongue sealed against the roof. This critical tongue position stabilizes airway reflex and signals. Nasal breathing is non-negotiable. Inhale quietly through the nose for 4 subtle seconds. No chest-shoulder movement. Exhale through the nose for 6 seconds. Slower, softening. At exhale's end, pause gently. Not forceful, waiting for the first clear, gentle signal of air hunger to inhale. Repeat for 10 minutes. During the pause, expect sensations: warmth, pressure, throat tightening, even anxiety. This is your nervous system encountering CO2 without fleeing. Observe, remain still, let it pass, do not suppress. If panic spikes, shorten the pause. If too easy, lengthen by 1 second. Progress is measured in weeks. After 10 minutes, stop. No stacking techniques. Goal: trust, not stimulation. You've taught your brain rising. CO2 doesn't equal death. Showing it, awake, stillness is survivable. This transfers to sleep. Most sabotage by doing too much. Longer holds, bigger breaths, which backfires, teaching danger. This surgical protocol: nightly, same time, posture, restraint. Next, first 90 minutes of sleep, and how that window determines apnea's tightening or release. The first 90 minutes of sleep are decisive. The gate where your nervous system tests nighttime trust, either reinforcing or dismantling apnea damage. After falling asleep, breathing slows, metabolism drops, and CO2 rises. In an untrained system, this CO2 rise triggers alarm, suffocation, leading to breathing shutdown, apnea, and micro-awakenings. With consistent protocol, the brain recognizes the chemistry, having experienced it, awake, safe, controlled. The CO2 rise no longer crosses the panic threshold. During this first sleep cycle, heart rate remains lower, BP softens, vagus nerve stays online, the brain allows deeper sleep. Muscles relax, airway stable, gasp reflex never fires. This marks the critical shift. Apnea event intensity changes first. Milder gasping, shorter recovery breaths, softer snoring, shallower oxygen dips. Signs the nervous system relearns rhythm. Many report vivid dreams returning, REM stabilization, memory consolidation, emotional processing resume. You might wake without dread. Neutral, clear, as if the night hadn't attacked. This is chemistry meeting memory. Skipping the protocol brings back the old pattern, proving the mechanism. The nervous system remembers what it practices most. Next, transformation timeline. After 3, 7, and 21 nights. Transformation is a predictable, measurable pattern shift, not a miracle. After 3 nights, subtle changes appear. Snoring volume decreases. Morning mouth dryness reduces. Nasal breathing stabilizes. And you might wake slightly earlier, not from anxiety, but naturally. Around the 7th night, deeper changes emerge. Lower morning heart rate, less rushed waking, reduced emotional reactivity, fewer intrusive thoughts and mental space, vagus nerve influence returning. Appetite normalizes, sugar cravings decrease, improved oxygen delivery and cortisol regulation, not willpower. When the brain stops fighting for air at night, It stops demanding fast fuel by day. By 21 nights, the nervous system locks in the new baseline. Measured apnea events are shorter, less frequent. Recovery breaths smoother. Blood pressure stabilizes. Heart rate variability improves. And morning anxiety often fades dramatically. Skepticism breaks as systemic changes, improved mood, sharper focus, reduced sense of being time-hunted, become undeniable. A temporary plateau or emotional release, old tension surfacing, lighter sleep, is recalibration, not regression. The system reorganizes around safety. The timeline proves you are unlearning a reflex, not fixing a defect. Next, who needs caution? Who shouldn't attempt blindly? And why protocol respect is non-negotiable? A warning. This powerful protocol rewires survival reflexes, demanding respect. If you have severe, untreated cardiovascular disease, advanced pulmonary disorders, or a history of panic disorder with dissociation, do not experiment blindly. Your alarm system is unstable. You need supervision, not bravado. Stop immediately if dizziness, numbness, sharp chest pain, or air hunger escalates into terror during pauses. This isn't courage. It's your nervous system signaling an excessive dose. Shorten pauses. Reduce session length. Progress is never forced. Discomfort is expected. Panic is not. Discomfort feels strange but manageable. Panic feels like loss of control. The protocol operates below the panic threshold. Caution for intensity chasers. Believing more suffering means faster results, sabotages the process. The nervous system learns safety from gentleness, not domination. Ancient systems limited breath instruction to prevent misuse. Breath can calm, but also provoke if handled recklessly. This protocol does not replace medical diagnosis. If you suspect sleep apnea, seek evaluation. Machines save lives in acute cases. The mistake is viewing them as the complete solution. This work is rehabilitation, not a denial of medicine. Respecting boundaries ensures progress. Ignoring them invites harder resistance. The final part will challenge you directly, with a choice you cannot unsee. The direct challenge. You have a choice. Treat sleep apnea as an external affliction managed by machines and resignation, or recognize it as a nervous system deeply conditioned by fear, carrying that fear into unconsciousness. No one can breathe for you in the way that truly matters. The system often prefers dependence on devices, on explanations that leave the root untouched. Autonomy, controlling breath, state, sleep, resilience, clarity, is inconvenient. I'm not asking you to reject medicine, but to stop outsourcing responsibility for your fundamental survival rhythm. Every night, without retraining, your brain rehearses panic. Every night, with this protocol, your brain rehearses safety. No neutral ground exists. Your body tells you which path you're on. The challenge? Commit to 21 nights. Precision, consistency, respect. Treat it as rehabilitation for a system under siege. If nothing changes, you lose nothing. If you don't commit, you know what continues. Breathing saved lives long before medicalization. It saves yours only if treated as the command signal, not background noise. This knowledge was dangerous because it returns control. Once you feel safe sleep, you'll never accept suffocation as normal.